can't believe this, but this is our last question today. It's from Cole. And Cole says this: my father-in-law recently turned 54. These guys are kids. And has made mention about getting back into working out. Well, good to hear. He's always stayed in what I would consider good shape by walking and doing the elliptical pretty regularly, while also working outside every day. And in his youth, he was pretty heavy into bodybuilding up until his 30s, I believe. What would be a program or exercises and equipment you'd recommend to get him back working out and feeling good? Side note, I've really enjoyed your new book, The Armor Building Formula, especially the barbell programs. Being a new dad, I don't have as much time as I once had, and the programs have been great for both time and effectiveness. Well, you answered my question before I could even get to it. So, Cole, I think with equipment, of course, I'm a big believer that you start with, like for example, if you only have one kettlebell at first, well, great. In the Armor Building Formula book, they have the single kettlebell armor building complex. Great, do that. And press that bell. Great, okay, solved. If you buy a barbell, well, okay, in the Armor Building Formula, there's a barbell program. If you buy 2 kettlebells, you do the standard Armor Building Formula. If you have two kettlebells of different weights, you do the Armor Building Formula. In the ABCs, you switch sides on every round. So the first thing that you have to figure out is what equipment does he want to use. Now, at his age of 54, and he's bodybuilding in the past, if he does join a gym to use the machines, I think that's a pretty good idea also. I'm a big fan of machine training. It's interesting because, sometimes when people hear me, depending on the audience, it's all, Olympic lifting or whatever. But I like machines. Machines have great value. And after the age of 55, I think it's a wonderful way to keep your lean body mass up at a very low risk. So I would recommend the Armor Building Formula to him. And then you just answer the big question: what piece of equipment do you want to use? Over time, I'd love to see him try the barbell program, the double kettlebell program, the single kettlebell program. If your father-in-law has been around training as long as you've said, he probably knows the basics of at least the barbell and the machine world. And what's nice about sliding over into the kettlebell world, if he's not done them, is it's, to quote Love Boat, exciting and new. And I got to tell you, folks, new, to quote Barney Stinson, new is always better. There's something, when I get a new piece of equipment at the gym, even if it's not very good, the fact that it's new makes us all want to play with it and try it and do all these things. I still hip thrust and deficit deadlift all the time. That's a major part of my my personal training. Real quick, I do hip thrust clamshells, then I do deficit deadlift, then I do goblet squats, and then I pick another exercise, usually hangs, but it can also be ab wheels or hanging bent knee leg raises. Hip thrust clamshell, deficit deadlift, goblet squat, and I got to tell you, okay, the best one is the hanging bent knee leg raise. But when I first brought that hip thrust in, that's what anybody used for like a week. And then they all got sore glutes and found something else. When we started doing deficit deadlifts, it was, the lift du jour, okay? Barney's right. New is always better. Having said that, though, if you can find something that stimulates the mind to make you excited about coming back into the weight room, that is, and to quote about a decade ago, money, okay? Hey, Cole, I want you to follow up with this, okay? Because what's great about the Armor Building Formula, single kettlebell, double kettlebell, barbell, is that the programs are all quick. Time-wise, they're not very long. The results, as I'm getting on all these different places, are phenomenal, and I'm very excited about that because it's such a simple program and it works really well. Money, money, money. I work with a lot of older people now, on the inner circle that I have, which we're going to be opening another group here pretty soon. A lot of the people, we have a lot of lawyers. We've had a lot of doctors. We've had a lot of military. We've had a lot of people who don't have 6 hours a day to train. They're leading troops in the combat. They're fighting court cases. They're saving lives. Thinking of somebody, we got EMT drivers. We've got people who, we've got busy dads. We've got, people with, we got women who get their workouts in and then coach other people and then do volunteer work. We got people with busy schedules. What's nice about the ABF, the Armor Building Complex especially, it's very time friendly. I just want to say one other thing too. Cole, I think it's really cool that you're helping your father-in-law out. I think that's, it's nice to hear that. I have 2 son-in-laws, and, it's nice when I do things with them. I think the world of Kyle and Thomas, my son-in-laws. I learned things from them. It's interesting, both of them are very good cooks, and I've learned some fun things from both of them. Thomas loves baseball and golfing, and it's funny because when we talk about those sports, my brain is translating that into, discus and hammer and shot put and javelin. Kyle is an engineer, and he's really helped me. The one company he worked with did medicines and supplements. And when you talk to somebody who actually works on the medicine supplement side, it sort of changes your brain about how you look at medicines and supplements. So I think it's wonderful, Cole, as I finish up here, that you're doing this with your father-in-law. And that's a good sign. And it tells me that you married well, okay? Well, good to you, good for you. And I hope I answered your question. Let's just get a piece of equipment and let's start getting to work.